New Jersey. Okay. Hi, New Jersey! Wowee! Happy Earth Day! I assume no one came in here in an airplane or in a diesel car. We all flew in solar-powered planes here. Are you all excited for a very big weekend? Jason, who do we have this weekend? We have us.
We have
David Hayden Jones.
That's right.
We have Tomo, we have Brianna, we have Kim.
We have Sam Smith.
Wow, that she's first up. We have Sam Smith backstage. We have Alex Calvert. We have Misha Collins. We have Mark Shepard. And of course, the weekend wouldn't be complete without the one and only Jensen Ackles. So get yourself pumped for a weekend of madness. Those of you who haven't been here yet, we have a band. What other convention can say that? Maybe other ones. We have karaoke tonight. Who's going to karaoke? And then tomorrow night we have SNS. Anyone that hasn't been to SNS yet, it's basically a concert. You're going to a concert at a convention. So yeah, it's a stacked, packed weekend full of all your favorite people. Look around, all your friends are here. We're so happy to have you. Let's get it kicked off, shall we? Let's welcome to the stage the one, the only Samantha.
we love those guys. Should start every day like that. Hi, everybody. Okay, so fair warning. I confidently ordered too much caffeine this morning. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna stumble over my words a lot, talk really fast, and then abruptly fall off a cliff and have to lie down. So I may end up doing my panel like this. Just so we're all on the same page. Hi, back in Jersey. I moved back to the East Coast in December. And this is and we live up in Connecticut, and I haven't made it down to Jersey till now, feet on the home ground. Jersey girls in the house? All right, I will be, just fair warning, incredibly disappointed if there is not an overabundance of Bon Jovi at karaoke. Just so you know. Nobody likes a disappointed mom. It's way worse than angry, am I right? Yeah. I think I've perfected the disappointing face.
All right, Jared.
They said I couldn't break it.
Liz, Sam broke the mic.
I broke it. I told you I could. This is why I can't have nice things. I just touched it and let it I would be miming if it weren't for her. Okay, so in theory, I would be able to see if there were any questions. I can see nothing. Oh, I hear a laugh though. There's, oh, cute person over there. Hi.
Hi, thank you. So, my question for you, when you came back on the show, technically your character would have been younger than your son. So I was wondering if you guys ever had any conversations about how that affected the relationship and things like that. It would have been really strange to have been in your late 20s, early 30s, and then come back to life with sons who are older than you.
Yes. There was a lot of discussion, even from the beginning, though, about how weird it was for me to be parenting people like a foot taller than me. Listen, if you want to go to your room, you should. Did they ever listen? No. 0 times. A little bit. I was so it was like the phrase I always use is drinking from a fire hose. I was like trying, so as Mary was trying to assimilate to being back to life, I was trying to assimilate to being like this new version of this character that had been heretofore so it was kind of like I was chasing on the heels of it all. And I think for them, they were just like, why is she always here? She won't go away. So it was just, the age thing was just one of many weird things that we had to sort of grapple with. Not the least of which that I was trying to pretend to be 29. I don't remember being 29, thank you. We immediately cut bangs and I got a circle light. And there were many occasions where, particularly Jensen, because he notices these things, but they're like, why does she get a bounce card? I'm like, I know your question is innocent, but I'm going to punch you in the eye. We all know what a bounce card is? No? Oh. Let me educate you. So normally, because it's Jensen and Jared, they just walk on set and they're like, put the light here, they'll be fine. And they look like, and I get on set and they're like, okay, can we have 2 box lights? And maybe, I'm like, nothing, they put a light here, I'm like, are you crazy? Move that shit, over there. Angle, down, okay. White card, bounce card. Fill. Let me just tell you a little story. When I had to get my passport photo, went into CVS and they're like, stand right there on that line. I was like, under the 8-foot fluorescent light? Are you insane? I'm like, just a second. And I went over to the arts and crafts department, got a big white poster board. Okay, I'm ready. It's true story. And the 17-and-a-half-year-old kid taking my photo was like, are you gonna pay for that? What is that? Why are you doing that? I'm like, take the picture. So that was my main concern. Yeah, so I don't think there was a ton of, mostly they just had to listen to me no matter how old I was. Which they didn't, so it all was moot. Anyway, so no. There was a lot of excitement over the fact that I had shoes and normal clothes. A lot of discussion over what my car would be. I'm not sure how we landed on an electric blue Charger. Does not seem very stealth to me. But it was fast. And there was much mirth over my inability to comprehend technology at all. Is that a computer? I was almost as clueless as Castiel. Fair, right? True and fair. So thank you for your question. Is that a question over there? No. Is there Seriously? Oh, now I'm gonna have to, like, practice my stand-up.
I'll come back, I'm back.
Okay.
So as a follow-up question, just to like tag on to that, Mary essentially came back and like all of her worst fears were realized because the one thing she didn't want for her kids was to be raised in the hunting life. So now not only were they giants who were older than her, they were also like the epitome of what she had removed herself from. So
Correct.
yeah, I see a lot of people, like, I know you have no control over the writing stuff, talking about online how much they...
Oh no, I have complete control over the internet.
I mean, if you want to write fic, you can, so... But,
If what?
I said if you want to write fic, you can do that. Fiction. Like fan fiction.
Oh, I thought you said write fake. I'm really trying. I don't...
You're doing it.
Gotcha.
But I saw a lot of talk about how they hated her decision to work with the men of letters, when I was wondering how you viewed that for yourself to justify it, and like how it made sense to you, because she came back to a world where her worst fears were realized and she found a solution that potentially could have ended it.
Thank you.
And like given it, you know, let her boys get out of this life, which I felt like was probably what she came back to do, and like
That was the goal,
whatever she
yeah.
could.
So, thank you. That is a very valid point, in my opinion. So Mary comes back to life 33 years later, and I don't think there could have been more, like, in such a short amount of time. Even the the Industrial Revolution, the cars, all this stuff happened over a much longer period of time. She goes away, and you still are clicking the television with something that clicks, and you have 3 channels, like, and the TV went off at 11. with the Star Spangled Banner, okay? She comes back and people are watching videos on their phones. She's like, what the fuck? You can see where people were driving on that screen, like, and nobody's talking to each other. You're at breakfast and everyone's on their own little things. I mean, and I remember talking to Phil Segrisha and he's like, make a list of all the things that are different. I'm like, I don't think you get past the first one. I don't think you get past technology. Like, yeah, people are like, everyone has tattoos. People are, you know, styles have changed a little, but technology is the vast, overwhelming piece of our civilization right now. Like Twitter, are you kidding? So I don't think she could get past that. And so the thing she took when she left, to everyone's delight, at the end of that third episode of season 12, everyone was really happy with Mary for taking the journal and leaving. That was sarcasm. Was something that wasn't had like pen and paper. And I think she had a flip phone, like, you know. I forget the question. So it was, wow, how did I justify working with the Men of Letters? So I say this all the time, and any of you who come to these frequently will be like, oh, she says that every time. Mothers don't do what's popular, they do what they think is right. And I had to not care if they were mad at me. Because I knew, in my opinion, in my brain, what my gut felt was right, was I needed to figure out who I was, and I needed to stop this. I wanted them not to fight, I wanted them not to hunt, I wanted them to have a nice, normal life. I think that ship had sailed, but still worth attempting. And the goal was pure. The goal was to eradicate the world of monsters so that they could just live. And if they, an extension, the audience, was mad at her for that, that was okay with me. Mary wasn't brought back to be a third hunting wheel. Mary was brought back to be a conflict in the story, and she succeeded. So I, as the person embodying Mary, had to agree with her choices. And if I didn't, I had to find a way to agree with their choices. It's weird though, sometimes don't we do something that we know maybe isn't the right thing, but we do it anyway? So there's that too. You can have some doubt in your choice, but you also, once you make the choice, like, go. You can't be like make the choice and try it. And with the information she had, working with the Men of Letters at the time, was her best choice. I think there are people that disagree. And I think Mary disagreed after she was brainwashed by Catch. In retrospect. But she did get to shoot him in the face. So, you know, all's well that ends well. And also, I would just like to point out at this juncture that every Winchester has done the exact same thing on multiple occasions. Keeping secrets, doing something the other person doesn't like, doing it anyway, lying about it, and then apologizing. Every single one. Only Mary and a little bit of John gets in trouble for it. Just putting that out there. Thank you. See you in a minute.
Hi. I was wondering, since both Mary as a character and you had missed such a big chunk of the boys' hunting life and just the show in general, was there any episode or hunt you wished you could have gone on with them, either as yourself or as Mary?
Oh. Well, I think pretty much any one of us would like to go on any hunt with either of them at any time. A hunt for a burger, a hunt for, Rougarou, doesn't matter. As far as Mary, I don't think, correct me if if I'm wrong, but did Mary really hunt with them much? No, there was that one ghost hunt, which then she left them sleeping and went on her own and then got possessed. That went well. And then on her own, she took out a couple vampire nests, there was some rougarou melting, there was a werewolf hunt. That then, didn't Dean come in, possessed his, what's his face? At the end of that werewolf hunt at the end of? Oh my God, they're all blending together.
One where Cass almost died.
We don't want to talk about that. I was so injured during that shoot. Oh my God, because Cass is like stabbed by some like unhealable staph wound, right? And we're in a barn, and it's 30 degrees, and it's a legit barn. So we're in this freezing barn for 3 days, and I wanted it to look real, and I've got Misha over my shoulder, right, like leaning on me, and I have to bust through a barn door and like limp into that barn, where he eventually almost dies, and then... Doesn't Crowley save him?
Yeah.
Plot twist. He broke the staff, right. I mean, I fell down so many times. So I'm trying to with Misha, I'm like, really lean on me so it looks real. And I was like, like change of plan. But because my hands were full, I had to hit the barn door with my hip. And it was so cold, I couldn't really feel it. But after like the 4th time, I was like, and I peeked at my hip, and it was like it was like this already, because the barn slat just happened to be right at my hip level, and I'm hitting the corner. I'm like, okay, can we do this different? And then I get through, limp in, drop him on. There was like a removed seat from a truck or something that we drop him on, and in the very first take, Brad, the camera guy, and we walk in, and I drop him, and I go, whoop, right out of there. Feet go out because it was frozen. I land, I hit the propane tanks behind me, and they go over. And Brad, the camera guy, is just like, just saw me like drop like a rock out of frame. I'm like, can I have those pads now? Oh, because the stunt man had asked me if I wanted pads. I'm like, oh no, he did give them to me, but on my knees. Didn't land on my knees. It was not great. Anyway, this is how Caffeine goes, by the way. So I was on a hunt with them, but that was more of we were being hunted in that episode. Yeah, there was a lot of fighting and kicking, and that was very challenging, that one. And it was cold. Did I mention it was cold and I fell down a lot? So any hunts I would have liked to do. Nothing that comes to mind. Because actually, I was actually a little nervous when they brought Mary back that she was going to be like, what are we hunting today? Like, in the back seat, like, huh, good, do we stop for snacks? Like, being like, or, be careful, don't forget your lunch. Like, I wasn't really sure, and so I was actually shocked in that the 3rd episode back, I'm like, here I am. At first, it was only supposed to be 6 episodes. And so I was like, oh, they're gonna kill me. They set me off, they're gonna kill me again. Which they eventually did, but it took 3 seasons instead of 6 episodes, which I was thrilled about. And every week, in fact, after I got that script, when they sent me off, I went to Bob Singer and I was like, so, when you kill characters, do you tell the actors ahead of time? Or do they kind of just read it in the script? Because I've heard both things. Just wondering, and if you're ever going to kill me, can you please tell me before I read it in the script? Can you just let me know? And he's like, oh my God, yes. Which is eventually what happened. I was at the vet with my dog. I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I answer my phone, and he's like, oh, it's been good. I've got Bob Seger and Andy Andrew for you. I was like, great. Oh no. Oh, no. And so they're like, yeah, hey, how you doing? We're just talking about, we just wanted to talk to you about, the way the season's gonna go and the story arc for next year and what's going to go happen with Mary. I'm like, is it death? Yeah, it's done. Okay. Okay. I could not, like, I was okay, I was really sad. It had to happen. I realized that it was longer than it should have been, but I loved working on this set. So it really, I was like, you're gonna do a whole season without me? Like, I'm just mad. You know you have to bring it. I will talk to them.
It's a spam call.
I did answer the phone one time in one of my Sammys with Sam's, and it was a telemarketer. That was fun. The person's like, great, now they know that I'm a person, thanks. Once again, I had forgotten the question.
I think you answered it.
I did? Fantastic. Thank you. Caffeinated Sam was kind of fun. A little confusing, but fun.
Hi. So I was wondering if you could have like a dinner with any character from Supernatural and like tell them one thing, who would it be and what would you say?
Okay.
It's just her friend calling her next to her.
Well, I've got to have dinner with Dean. Me, Sam, or me, Mary?
Yeah, you Sam.
Oh.
Like, you as a person, not as Mary. Like who would you
To
have
sit
dinner
with a character.
Yeah, sit with a character as you yourself and like tell them something from your infinite wisdom.
I would have a word with Lucifer. About good attention and bad attention. And how they're different. He needs some reparenting. And I think I would have to have dinner with Jody just because. I mean, she's everything, right? So yeah. But first Lucifer, because he's in, yeah. He needs some boundaries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Over-caffeinated, how are you?
Same. So I know I flipped my lid for the best when I saw you return in the season finale.
Thank
I
you.
thought it was going to be John, but I was like, oh, this is so much better.
Don't tell Jeff.
How far in advance did you know that you were going to be returning? Like, when did they approach you and say, hey, guess what?
Oh, well, some of you have heard this. I got the call in like February, and they filmed that episode in like the beginning or mid of April. But I didn't understand for a very long time that it was the season finale. I thought the series was over. Because I have long said, people are like, when are you going to come back? When are you going to come back? And after season 7, I was like, there are no more ways to come back. Like, there has been every option. Except to come back to life. Which I think they will bring me and John back in the series finale. And because it's Supernatural, it has to be sad, and there'll be some reason, and we're not going to be allowed to know who the boys are. I'm like, that's what I would do, because the writers, if I were a writer, because the writers are just like, how can we torture them? So I was like, I knew it. I love being right. I was like, I would write. But I didn't have a script yet or anything. You only get the scripts like maybe a week before. So they said, do you want to come back for the finale? And I was like, of course. I knew it. And then like a while later, I was at Todd Aronaro's house. He was one of the post-producers. We were having a barbecue. And I was like, hey man, I'm going to be in the finale. finale. This is so cool. I'm so excited. Congratulations. It was such a good run. What are you doing next? And he was just looking at me very confused. And I'm like, okay, the show is ending. Do you not have another job? Like, you know? And he's like, what? He's like, the show's not over. And I'm like, I'm in the finale that usually, you know. He's like, no, it's the series finale. You're back next year.
Wait, what?
I think I said, why? And he's like, I don't know. I said, what? How? Who? What? Am I a ghost? Am I real? Am I this? Am I that? And he's like, I don't know anything. And then I knew. And then, you know, I went up there and everything was very secret. You know, they had me hiding in a van with like a thing over my head, well, it was also raining, so they didn't want me to get wet, but the nightgown is a dead giveaway of who I am. So I'm like in a robe and a thing, and it's raining, and it's 10 o'clock at night. But then they thought it was a good idea to put my character name on the trailer that was on the main road. So I'm stunned that nobody knew. Maybe a few people did, because in Vancouver there were always a dedicated crew of like 5 to 10 fans on the other side of the road with signs like, hi. Sometimes if we could, we'd go over and say hi, but I was forbidden from like, they drove me around the back to the set in this van. I was outside for a total of 12 minutes, just standing there like, help. Just as an aside, maybe she was very confused because she was in heaven a second ago. I still don't think Mary would have stood in the middle of a field and yelled help. I think she would have been like, hey! Somebody get out here and tell me where I am. But I'm not sure Dean would have responded to that. Help is like their, you know, war cry. They're like, we're coming to save the day. So that's how long I knew, from February or so. See these answers, just like, and I was delighted. I was so excited. I was nervous. And then they had to teach me how to fight, which was a very slow process. Got much better at it. I'm like, oh, how about I take boxing lessons? And they're like, that's a good idea. I'm like, why did nobody tell me this after season 12? Like, it took until the beginning of season 14 where suddenly I was like, should I be taking lessons? Like, because the stunt coordinators would always teach me and coordinate and choreograph. Season 12 was all I could do just to keep up, though. That was a lot. I was in a lot of episodes. I was gone for 6 months, essentially, in Canada, and working every day and fighting. They're like, every episode I'd open, I'm like, fighting again, oh my God. Because it just, my stunt girl was amazing, thank God, but it was, it's a whole thing to make it look real, and kept breaking my nails. I'd have actual bruises. I had whiplash after the cage match with Catch. And that, I was like, ugh. Like, because to make it look real, you know, full on whiplash. And my poor stunt girl, oh my God. There's like part at the beginning of that, Catch throws Mary across the room and she slides and hits the filing cabinet. Well, Dana, my stunt girl, she tripped over his foot. It either wasn't where she expected it to be or something. In any case, the first thing that hit the floor was her eyebrow. And it made like a gunk, and I was watching it, and I was like, what was that? And she stands up, she's like, I'm fine. I'm like, not fine, not fine. Like immediate half a golf ball with a big slit and blood, and I'm just like, and like people come rushing in, she's like, I'm good. I'm like, stop saying that. She didn't care. So they're like, okay, it was right out of the gate, because you do those scenes in order, right? In case something like this happens, or in case like a piece of furniture breaks or whatever, you can't go back and do something that happened before that, so you do it all in order. So they had to put like a big fake cut on me with blood going down my face. They didn't do like a lump. Fortunately, my bangs go this way, so it kind of covered it, but she had to have had a concussion. She's tough as nails, this girl. And made me look really good. Because there are scenes I'm watching, and with the wig and the clothes, like even though she doesn't really look like me exactly in real life, once you put all the stuff, and when I'm watching the episodes, I'm like, could that be me doing that? Probably not, that's probably bad. She's not clumsy at all. Guess what? Forgot the question, that's right. Did I answer it? Great, okay. Hi.
Oh,
Ooh, why are you yelling?
I didn't realize that not used to being mic'd up. So as a fellow breast cancer survivor, I want to say congratulations on
Thank
still
you.
being here with us.
Congratulations to you. How many years?
12.
Rock on.
In fact, I discovered Supernatural during chemo when I was home from work.
Say that again?
I discovered Supernatural during chemo because I needed something to keep my mind occupied, so.
Nice.
It all comes together. But I wanted to ask you about the charity Equal Hope that you and Stans did the fundraiser for.
Yes. Equal Hope is an unbelievable organization. So, before my second diagnosis, I hadn't really been super public the first time around because it was 2008. Nobody knew who I was really. It wasn't going to make a big difference. And I just was like trying to get through. I was pregnant when we found it. I went through 3 rounds of chemo before my son was born. I had kind of a lot happening. So I just kind of like put my head down and did my work. Are you wearing a Rise shirt?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I brought mine to wear it maybe tomorrow, I don't know. I had found, anyway, so my first campaign was the Red Rise, and that was for a foundation called the Chicago Foundation for Women. And what they do is they raise money, and then they have an unbelievable kick-ass full board of women, doctors and PhDs, and just this very intimidating group of very smart, really loving women. They dole the money out to other charities in the Chicago area that do different things for essentially being a phoenix. They help women with childcare, restarting their lives after illness, incarceration, drug addiction, abuse, any of those things, where you can imagine you need a little bit of an extra head start to have equal footing. And when I was diagnosed again, I contacted them and I said, what is your breast cancer arm? And they said, Equal Hope. And Equal Hope is strictly about screenings, care, treatment, helping with childcare, other stuff. They just completely support the women in this small area. And the reason I chose this, I'm not from Chicago, I scoured the internet looking for charities where money would go the farthest. Because I could donate to the American Cancer Society, which is a wonderful organization, but you know, you give them 10 grand or 20 grand or 30 grand and it's like covers stamps, you know. But a smaller organization like Equal Hope, that amount of money can give screenings to 1,000 women. And I know that in their vicinity, the women of color were dying at a rate of 7 to 1 of white women with the same level of disease because of people, they weren't getting the access to treatment and prevention, and it just was, there was no reason for it other than that. And they've brought that down 40% in just, I don't know, 7 years, I think. Which is, you know, a huge feat. And they're the nicest people, and they're just, anyway, they just work hard every day. They're very small, but I just worship their work. So I would like to, as much as I can, just contribute even a little bit and raise awareness about what they do, because maybe then there can be another organization just like it in LA and New York and Milwaukee and Atlanta, and then just equity in care and equity in survivorship shouldn't be a thing. It should just be. And it's not. And that is their goal, and I just, any little bit we can do. So, because When I was diagnosed first, my survivorship was, I had a 63% chance. And because of the because of the standard of care I got, they were like, listen, you're in LA, where you're at a top tier hospital and you're being watched every week and you're getting tested every week. If you lived 3 hours from a hospital in like Kansas or something, you may not have the same outcome. And I was like, that's not okay. That's not okay. So that's the goal. So thank you for asking and congratulations. 12 years is solid. I know there's probably many other survivors and potentially other people even still fighting in this room. And I want to say I love you and support you and come see me. Just give me a hug, okay? Hi.
Hi, first of all, I love you. Hi.
I love you back.
And my question is, if you didn't play Mary, which female character would you have played, or would have wanted to play?
Abaddon. That being said, I cannot imagine anyone but Alina playing Abaddon. But thank you. I was stunned what they gave me when I came back, because the truth is, being cast as Mary, how she was originally cast, as I said, like, nice mom, pink nightgown, pink, not white. That's my wheelhouse. I get cast as the nice mom, like, without even trying half the time. Like, I made an entire commercial career out of being, like, the nice mom. So when Mary came back, it's like somebody who fights, and fights dirty, by the way, and is shooting and running and tough, and I was like, I don't think I would have gotten that job without having already been the character. So it was like a gift, because I say this all the time. I always wanted to play Lara Croft, and people are like, yeah, no. Cute. I'm like, you don't know me. But your essence is what it is. My voice is what it is. You know, I accept that. The good job is the one you get. And Mary was like the best of everything for me. It was kind of a dream job. I'd quit acting right before they came back to me, you know. I was done. I was like, I'm so tired of playing the trophy wife. I was so over it. Trophy wives and flight attendants. That's all I ever played.
Whoa, hey now.
And the hot girl. She was probably a flight attendant. But yeah, this was a dream job. It was, people are like, did you quit acting? I'm like, not for this. So, anyway, thank you. Hello.
I kind of want to go back to the first question about Mary working with the Men of Letters, and how everybody, like a lot of the audience hated her because of what, but my thought is that...
Wait, people hated Mary?
Well, they didn't think that she... But my feeling is that we, the audience, knew things about Catch and the Men of Letters that she didn't.
Right.
So did that...
Yeah, see?
So I'm not saying she necessarily did the right thing, but I understand why she did it, because she wanted to. But did you have to take that into account? Did that affect how you performed that, or did it just did you not even think about it?
I think that, if I remember correctly, are you talking about like how he killed Adam Fergus's character?
No, yeah, like the
little
audience,
things like that.
The audience knew that Catch was a...
a creep stalker.
He was
right?
He was like, and we knew that, but Mary didn't see that side.
So little things like that, yes, for sure. I had to not know. I had to pretend not to know. But there was also an element of Mary that she doesn't give a shit. She's like, yeah, but my goal is this, so that's not gonna affect me. I'm not worried about that. So yeah, he's not perfect, but he is a means to my goal. However, she did not know that he was her stalker. Like, with the pictures and stuff, I forgot about that. Do you remember that? And he like stole them from the, I'm like, hey, those aren't yours. Yeah, so that would have, knowing those things, I don't know if she still wouldn't have done it, but she would have definitely had her guard even higher. And she suspected, she started to suspect, that's how she found that room full of like all their surveillance cameras and all that, which didn't go well. But Mary, like, she's like, no BS. She would have, I can't say she would have killed him, but she definitely wouldn't have entertained and let him have shenanigans if she had known, I think. Yeah. But that's, you know, he didn't tell her that stuff on purpose. He was not truthful. That's why he got shot. That's what happens. Hi.
Hi, I'm Angela. I live in Connecticut also, by the casinos.
We have casinos in Connecticut?
On my end.
I was just wondering what brought you to Connecticut?
Lots of things. We wanted to get out of LA, schools, fresh air. I get them chickens. I'm getting chickens. I might also get a rabbit. Does anyone have a rabbit? What mini lop-ear?
I have a lion head.
A lion head. Now there's Angora.
They're adorable, but they're evil.
Rabbits in general or the lion head?
No, all rabbits, they're evil.
We also don't like one of my dogs either, so she'll fit right in. She's such a jerk. Oh my God. My son is also getting a pair of sugar gliders. I was like, yeah, go ahead, try to find some online. Yesterday he's in the park, he sent me a video. He's like, look, this guy had a sugar glider. I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah, he told me where to buy them, where to get the cage, how to take care of them. I'm like, oh. I said to my husband, we're getting sugar gliders. But if he gets a sugar glider, I get a rabbit. Why are they evil? Do they bite?
They're cute cables.
Great.
So basically like us.
Right.
They love to eat wires.
Well, that's the thing. Most of our cables are up, like where they, you know. But I mean, there's going to be a lamp. Well, he can't just run free in the house. That's all. I'm also not like picking up rabbit poop everywhere. Right? They'd be a litter box, right? Oh, maybe I'll get a girl. Maybe I won't get a rabbit. Can I have a fennec fox? Can you have a fox as a pet? Is that legal? Will it eat my dog? Crap. Can I get an owl? No.
Get turtles, they're easier.
Turtles? I guess say Manila.
I have 3 of them.
You're fine? But they're aquatic. I was thinking with fur.
No, you
Do they make fur turtles? Still no fur. I could glue fur to the shell.
Make a little
I don't want any rodents except for a rabbit. Like I don't want any gerbils or guinea pigs, even though they can be great.
They eat each other.
No fur for my turtle. I could put a guinea pig on the back of a turtle.
That's what duct tape's for.
I'd love a monkey. That's also many problems.
Uh-oh, you got company.
Maybe I'll get a band.
You're making a band?
Well, we were talking about my pet options.
What are your pet options? Oh, Jesus, sorry. What are your pet options?
Well, we have 2 dogs. My son is getting 2 sugar gliders, which are like little tiny flying squirrels. I don't even. Well, what he really wanted was a cat, but we live on a kind of busy road and my husband's allergic. And they're like, well, we can try. I'm like, no, we're not getting a cat to like try it out and then have to find a home for it. So I said, how about a rabbit? And my son is like, because it wasn't his idea. And then he said, I want a sugar glider. I'm like, great, what's a sugar glider? And then they're really cute and people have them as pets and they fly. They're like a little tiny flying squirrel.
They don't actually fly.
They fly. Oh. Okay.
Look who's an expert. I'm didn't know how mean that was going to sound in my head.
Listen, Blondie, they don't fly.
It was actually, they don't actually fly,
No.
do they?
No.
That's,
No, they climb up the curtains to the curtain rod and they go, "Ah!"
they're indoor squirrels?
Yes.
Oh, I want one.
And they're really little like this. So it turned out that once I started looking at rabbits for my son, then I wanted one. And what I really wanted was an Angora rabbit because they look like a fur tumbleweed.
Yeah.
They're like this big, but then I was like, that's a lot of grooming and
It's also what I
hair.
want. It's also what I want now with my son.
Well, maybe we can share custody.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
So yeah, so anyway, we'll have to discuss rabbits. Apparently a mini lop ear is...
Oh, very cute.
Yeah, they have like the moo, and they're sweet, I guess. And I want him to be friends with my chickens.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna start posting a lot of pictures in overalls, just so you know.
Have you named your chickens?
No, we don't have them yet. There's going to be 3, and one of them has to be named Anya, because my friend Anya said I have to name my chicken after her. Okay. She said she's from Luxembourg. I think Anya is a very good name for a chicken. That was a little French. I think Anya is a very good name for a chicken. She's from Luxembourg. She has a German accent.
Ah, very good. How was Sam, guys?
You can be honest.
She kicked it off well.
Thank you guys. I love you all.
Please give it up for Samantha. Okay.